Hello, welcome to this training video around the Infoblox DNS solution provided by CEnet. Okay, we'll go to the login screen first off. And it's https ns1.cenet.catholic.edu.au. Once you're at the login screen, log in with the credentials that were provided by CEnet. If you don't have a login, please log a call with our help desk and we'll provide those details for you. Okay, I've created a training user which just happens to sit in the Diocese of Bathurst for the purpose of this training. Okay, when you first log in, you should get presented with a screen very similar to this. On the left hand side is the Finder. We'll get to that shortly. What this lets you do is view any bookmarks that you may have created and also any zones that you may have deleted. On this side of the screen, if you hit this little pull out, this actually gives you the help documentation, and the help is actually context based, so depending on what view you're in inside Infoblox, it will give you help around that particular item. So the best way to edit your DNS, and this is the way we recommend, even though you've got these buttons here, these will actually get a little bit confusing because you would add a CNAME, then you have to choose your view and then your school. We've found just through general training that the easiest way is to go to data management, DNS, and then choose your view. Now you may well ask, well, why when I log in does it take me straight there? Unfortunately, it's just the way the GUI is. It always dumps you to the dashboard and then lets you, the user, decide where you want to go. So again, data management, DNS, and then you can choose your view from there. Now the GUI itself will remember where you are depending on what tab you've clicked. So if, for example, we go to an internal view of Bathurst and choose the CEO record, and then we decide that we actually want to go back to the dashboard and just check something. When you go back to data management, it will remember where you were last. Something else as well, which is a good feature, is if you know that you're always going to be making a lot of changes on the internal side zone for Bathurst, you can actually make it a bookmark. If you click bookmark, just click it once. You don't get any actual visual cue that it is complete, but if you maximize the bookmark tab across here, you'll see that there's now a bookmark for the internal zone of Bathurst. You can actually give it a better name. If you click the pencil, you can give that any name you like, so we'll call it CEO internal, and let's just say, for example's sake, we were dumped at the dashboard when we first log in. You could then just maximize this. You could see any bookmarks you'd made and click that, and it will take you straight to that particular zone. I'm not sure what the upper limit of these actual bookmarks is. I think the world's your sort of oyster. You can make as many as you like, as far as I'm aware. If I do find out a particular number, I'll update it in a future video. Okay, we'll delete that. Okay, now on this Finder bar, we're not using smart folders at the moment. To give you an example of what they are, you can actually make a smart folder which will host a collection of bookmarks. It's beyond the scope of these particular videos at this stage to show you that, but we may well cover that in a future video. The ones we're going to focus on today are bookmarks and recycle bin. So if we go back to the home, and what I'll do now is show you an example around creating a record. So because this is the live system, I'll just use the internal one for now. And let's say you know the school is a Saint something. You can start typing ST and then choose a particular school from there. So for this example, I'll use St. Jory's Oberon. This will give us the link to that particular zone. You can either choose the link there, or you can hit that arrow which will just open. It's the same thing, so we'll choose the link just for this example, and you can see we've got the zone presented to us there. There's two ways to make a particular record within a zone. You can use the plus button at the top, or you can use the toolbar to the right hand side. If you're running out of real estate, if your resolution isn't that great on your particular PC, you can minimize all of these. That will minimize the toolbar, and then you see you get this nice little tab where you can open them up if you need to. So for the purpose of this example, we'll minimize all of this, and we will add a record from this plus button. Something to bear in mind as well is you see you've got this host entry. It can get a little confusing because obviously when you're adding an A record, you're pointing it to a host, so surely I need to add a host record. You don't in this case. The reason being, host in the Infoblox context relates to DHCP. You can actually make host reservations with this. We're not using the DHCP side of Infoblox at the moment, so for all your DNS needs you would always use the record option. So for this example, I'm going to make a text record. We'll call this testing, and we'll give it a name, test of txt. If you're not familiar with DNS, a text record should always be enclosed in quotes. And then just for neatness, we'll give this a dummy lifetime reference, just so that if it was a CEnet engineer doing this, we could go back and say, yep, this is the actual lifetime ticket that the creation of this record relates to. Once you're done, just hit save and close, and you can see there the where is it? There, the testing record is now created. Now, to show you an example of the recycle bin, we'll just maximize this and maximize that. You see the recycle bin's empty at the moment. If you decide you want to delete a record, you simply highlight it and hit the delete icon, and then choose yes, and it appears in there. So as an example, we'll restore that. Restore, and you'll see that testing comes back straight away. If you're absolutely certain you're not going to need this record in the future, you can delete it again. So we know for sure we're never going to need this again, so we'll hit delete, and that permanently deletes it. So around the GUI again, we'll just bring this one out. If you're not sure what a particular option does, you can expand the help, and it will give you help around a particular focus that you're in. So obviously we can see here this is a list of records, so this is giving us options around this particular zone, what we can and can't do, and what the help is. If you want to see the full documentation, you can actually click the admin guide. This will download a PDF directly from Infoblox. Okay, we'll just minimize that. If we go back to DNS Home and Dashboard, so this is the view you first get when you first log in. If you go Data Management, DNS here, and then choose a view. When you first log in, your view may be slightly different, and the reason being, I have already ordered these particular columns to view what I want to view. The way you do this is if you hover over the column, you can hit the drop down, columns, edit columns, and choose what you want to see. So let's just say I want to see the postcode. Hit apply, and it will show you the postcode if that field was populated, which in this case for this particular dice it's not. So we'll turn that off. Columns, edit columns, postcode. Now to change the order of these, you can either drag and drop in here, or you can actually drag the tabs across, and that will change the ordering. If you want to give a comment to a zone, you don't have to actually go into the zone. You can quickly double click the comment, and it will give you a inline editor. So we can just put all hellos, save. That will link that comment with that particular zone. And again, if you want to delete it, just double click, delete, save. So yeah, that pretty much concludes this simple introduction to the Infoblox DNS appliance. There will be more videos coming out soon with more in-depth solutions. Thanks for your attention, and I look forward to seeing you in some future videos.